done a lot. He's fellow Pac-12, maybe, a Bruin, but fellow Pac-12.
Yeah, Pablo.
Yeah. At least he wears blue and gold. He wears the right color. He doesn't wear that Chapel Hill, Tar Heel blue, all watered down.
Wow. The college shade out here is crazy. The UCLA blue is the closest thing you can get to Carolina blue anyway. So watch out. We could compare national championships if y'all really want to go there. So don't start.
I don't know what's going on. This conversation.
Don't start. But Drake, please do continue.
This is New Ground with Allen Hopkins Jr. Let's go. And Jalil Anibaba.
Helping us cover new ground this week, recent Supporters Shield champion, also holder of a Leagues Cup championship as well, and the number one man for Inter Miami in the goal this week, Inter Miami's Drake Callender.
Man, thanks for the intro. Super excited to join you guys today and chat about soccer, life, and everything under the sun.
Well, real quick, I want to let you know, you'd appreciate this, Drake, that I went to Chapel Hill to see the Cal Bears play a couple weeks ago, and they be cheating. Why they cheating in Chapel Hill, Drake? Cal Berkeley kids, they're good kids. They go to class. They work hard on and off the field. You're a proud Cal alum. Why they cheating here in the ACC like that, Drake? They be doing stuff, man.
Maybe they don't like the new addition to the ACC with the
man. Oh man! But real quick, first and foremost, so exciting for you on and off the field. Congratulations, a new father. First, if you can, give us a sense of the feeling of being a first-time father and sort of how that's given you a bit of that bounce, if you will, around the facility and off the field as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think when I found out that I was going to be a father back in, the end of December, I kind of knew that this moment was coming. And so even the preparation throughout the year leading up to this moment, I kind of felt like a deeper purpose to, serve my family, be there for my wife, prepare as much as I can. So then when the baby does arrive, I can be as present as possible. I think now that the baby's here, I had all these ideas of what it would be like, how it would feel, the sleep, the emotions. And my biggest takeaway is that she's given me so much energy. And a lot of the time I think, now I'm a father, there's more that I have to do. But at the end of the day, I'm looking at my daughter, man, she's really a blessing in my life. And I have this newfound purpose, and it's beautiful. And I'm just so grateful that she's healthy, and I have a wife that's extremely supportive of what I do, and we're able to start a family together this year.
Drake, first and foremost, I think all of us that are close to you and have seen you grow from whether it's your time back in Sacramento area or in college, but most specifically from your rookie year all the way up until now, everyone who knows you knows how much of a introspective person you are, a family guy you are. My dad always said to me when we were young, becoming young boys into young men, that when you have your first kid, you actually get so much more energy to do what you want to do. You said it yourself. So now that you are a new father, what are some of the things that you're looking forward to most specifically in your family life, but of course, how you may be able to flip the new family addition into more power to do even greater things on the pitch as well?
I think looking forward, there's just so many firsts to come, the first time she speaks, the first time she walks. Just recently, she smiled for the first time. And so I think of all these firsts that are to come in my life, personally and family-wise, but also on the field. Our team just got the franchise's first Supporters Shield. We have an opportunity to get, our first MLS Cup. So there's some synchronicities going between my life at home and family life, and also my career, in that there's a lot of firsts to be experienced. And is something that I'm aware of, but also it just makes me appreciate the moment in that, you know, we don't get any of this without being present with where we're at in life, who we're with, what we're doing, whether it's the family or like the team.
Inter Miami goalkeeper Drake Callender joining us here on New Ground. And Drake, you mentioned the club's first ever supporters shield, and you guys have won the league. That's different than winning the postseason and the playoffs, as you know. So when you think back to a year ago, and I remember we'd be on calls and all of us just really wanted to just ask you a million questions about Messi. Here you are a year plus in, and I'm curious to see how much of the awe, if you will, and the GOAT stuff is now, I don't want to say ho-hum every day, but how much have you got used to having a player like that leading your team out and being the guy right next to you when you guys walk out ahead of games?
I think anytime a new player joins the team, there's like a phase of integration that they go through. And for us, last year was Leagues Cup, and that was a pretty impressive way to integrate into a team, helping us a lot to win our club's first trophy. But now I'm kind of just realized, like, you know, like we're all competitors, we're all people, we all want to win. There's a lot of things that we share in common, and I think that understanding of what to expect out of each other day in day out is pretty clear. And so for me, like, yeah, like you said, like a year plus in, you know, it's just, I feel still exciting. You know, it doesn't get old whether he scores a free kick or, you know, makes a really good dribble. You know, he still has so much class and still a great player, and will be for, you know, probably the entire time he's on the field. But yeah, I'm really just kind of, you know, he's on my team, and
Jalil, he said it like he's on my team, you know, like, and I think that is important that you do take ownership of your leadership as well.
the media is different. The eyes on the club are different, or just, I think just more. I just try and just keep it simple, you know. I'm sure pretty much everyone on my team has gone through like a lot of change, and so how can I serve as an anchor at times to kind of keep everyone grounded? I think that's a way or a means of leadership that I've kind of been experiencing is, you know, it's just like, how do we just keep doing what we've been doing, you know? And sometimes if you do something great, it gets amplified. If something doesn't really work out, that also gets amplified. So, you know, keeping our heads is super important, and especially as the end of the year comes and playoffs begin, I think what determines the pressure will be us, you know, and you can get pressure from the outside, but I think it comes down to kind of what pressure you put on yourself, and I think that's something that you can control.
Yeah, that's spot on. That's spot on. And you segued me perfectly into where I want to take it now. Everybody knows basically what your guys' club looks like individually and collectively from the outside looking in. But any of us who have spent time in any locker room, I don't give a damn where you played at what level. But if you've been a professional footballer, you know that it is all about training and in the locker room, in the meal room, all of those things. So take us into the locker room. What's training like? I just want to know what y'all's 6v6 be like and how that environment has made you just rise to the level every single day. Because we know how professional of a dude that you are, but that environment can really make diamonds. And we've seen you literally become a diamond in front of our eyes.
Thank you. I can only get so detailed because some things that just remain in the locker room, some things that just remain on the pitch. But I think everyone shows up ready to go. You know, I think, I mean, we have a group of guys who they all want to play, you know, and we have depth and guys compete. And we know that we all need each other. It's not just one person, not just, a few guys doing this. It's like none of this happens without the collective team as well as the staff and the coaches. It's like a full operation, man. So we just embrace that. And, to experience it, I guess, experience being on this team since my rookie year to now, of course, a lot has changed, but at the end of the day, you have to take care of yourself, stay healthy, be mindful of just how you carry yourself around the facility. Body language plays a huge role, just like greeting people, saying hello, just like these may seem like small things, but, it goes a long way. And it's allowed me to, look in the mirror and be like, all right, like, am I doing everything I can here to get better and also to help out my teammates? And then, it's just, again, just being yourself. I think these locker rooms nowadays are so diverse that there's different cultures, different languages, different perspectives.
How's your Spanish? How's your Spanish though?
It's like, I mean, I can get by, I can definitely get by.
There we go.
I think listening to it every day, I have like small like greetings and sayings down. I may not be able to get through a full conversation, but I can pick up on words here and there. And, I would say the majority of our team's probably Spanish speaking. But I don't think that's something that's, I don't think it's a negative. It's just a way for me to learn and grow and also, see what's up about a different culture. And also puts me in a position just to even be more alert, just to be sure that we're clear on certain things, whether it's tactics, whether it's whatever it is. I think that's just another reason to be locked in.
Drake, how would you describe your level of play over the last year? And specifically, how has the game slowed down for you? And we were giving you literally your flowers last week in the penalty kick save in the showdown with Columbus. But I'm just curious from your perspective, because you're an introspective person, you are reflective, you are very insightful. What are the areas in which you feel like you wanted to tackle to improve that you've done so, and how you're looking to refine your game further?
Yeah, I think goalkeeping is a position where there's always something that you can improve on or learn from. Very rarely do you get through a game and you're like, all right, I made every right decision, made every save, complete every single pass. There might be some actions in there that you might want back, but I think looking at this year, it's just understanding how important being consistent is. And that doesn't mean having a 10 out of 10 performance every single game, but it means being able to bounce back from certain performances and ensure that your level of play continues to be like a high standard. Because I wouldn't say like the year has been perfect, but I've been ready every single game. And even though some games haven't panned out the way you think they would, it hasn't stopped me from going out there and being confident. And so I think, it's something as I'm maturing, and getting more games under my belt, it's just, how can I be a total goalkeeper in possession, out of possession, set plays, how, I know what my strengths are. I know what areas of my game I need to improve, but how can every area be like super solid? I think that's kind of for me, like how I'm learning to become more effective is, you can, if I'm looking at like my entire skill set and I'm really great at one thing and not the best at another, there's some pros to that, but I'm been developing in a way where I want to be just really solid at every single area of goalkeeping. And there may be one that inches a little bit higher than the others, but I think, just demanding more from myself in every aspect of the game, I think is the direction I'm going in. And it's a ever evolving position to be in.
Yeah, I feel like with goalkeeping, it's so technical. There's so much that goes into it that I think even us field players, we don't really give it credence to because we just don't know how to even execute the fundamentals of what y'all be doing. But we do know when you do it great or when y'all be messing up. That's about as far as it goes with field players to just keep it 100. Like, I'm just being honest with you. But for me, the last one for me is just on where your career and your life has arrived to at this point. By no mistake, by all hard work and pure intention, but you're literally living one of the careers that, like young kids, write up on a piece of paper and that joint don't never come true. But for you, it's your life, it's your reality, and you've already achieved so much. But as a young footballer and as a young black man that I know that you are, you have so much more that you want to achieve. So what's next for you individually and collectively with the group and maybe beyond?
Yeah, I think that's the beautiful thing about the unknown. It's because we don't necessarily know what's to come, but there's this possibility and opportunity and potentiality for greatness that can be achieved. And so, of course, you have the trophies, you have the legacy building, you have all these things that could close the season. But for me, I think it's just, again, it's like having that game by game mentality, but also just setting the standard so high that, like, you have to go for the biggest of the biggest trophies, the biggest moments, because even if you don't get there, you still get pretty far, And I think when you have a game, both teams believe that they can win, but you won't know until you play the game. And so I think that's why just like live sports in general was so entertaining, is because, you got to go through the game. You got to go through the ups and downs, the big plays, the big moments to figure out who wins or draws or loses. And so, yeah, I'm really just in a space of just kind of like gratitude to, able to be a starting goalkeeper at Inter Miami, or really, I think any starting goalkeeper, it's so valuable to have minutes, to have these experiences on the field. I've been in positions where I've been, number 3, a number 2, and those are just as difficult in their own way as being a number 1. And so, I think having been through those phases of my career, I have respect for both sides and understand how important both sides are. And so I think, I guess going forward is just to stay healthy, just to keep competing, to, help put my team in positions to win trophies, and ultimately just be the person that, my 12-year-old self was looking up to. I think that's something that I always have to remind myself, is every time I step on the field, people are watching, kids are watching. How you hold yourself is super important. Like, how you treat people is super important. And that's something that I learned from my parents, is just treat people how you want to be treated, be a good person, have good intentions. And, like, results are results, but sometimes how you make people feel and how you value people, that can last a lifetime.
Drake Callender joining us here on New Ground. Drake, I'm curious how much the validation and that wink and a nod, and, if you will, you're my dog, that you get from your teammates, how much has that meant from a Busquets, from an Alba, from a Messi, from everyone, even last year with DeAndre and all the wonderful teammates you've had in Kamal? And what's that validation been like in terms of you getting that default level of confidence that you can be a number 1 and also represent our country at the highest level?
Yeah. So confidence is like that key element, I think, for a goalkeeper, really any athlete, that when you know when you have it, and you kind of know when you don't, but it's something that, again, like you said, can come from outside yourself, but also something that can be cultivated from the inside as well. And so the fact that I've, gotten that validation from my teammates and also had that from the inside too, is almost like this combination for elite performance, because I'm not worried about, what others will think, making an error. I'm just really in the present moment, playing the best game that I possibly can. And especially in previous years, just like how valuable older player, saying nice save or good play, or is giving me like positive constructive criticism, how valuable that was for me to like understand, like, yeah, you have a team for a reason. You have these teammates for a reason, and like they're going to hold you to a standard, but also help you out when you need it. And so there are some very influential players in my early career, I guess my first couple years, that helped me realize, like, yeah, like the only source of confidence isn't from the inside, but it's also from the outside. That was pretty pivotal for me. And, there's not many moments. Well, I guess there are a few moments, but, it's not as common for goalkeepers to be put in situations where their teammates, kind of have to like rely on them and like depend on them. And so I've been in a few of those moments in my time, and having come up big in a few of them and also haven't. And so, it's something that I think you just have to go through those experiences and learn from them. And, once you do it once, you can do it again. And yeah, confidence is kind of it's like that key ingredient when you're competing at this level.
Jill and I were talking last week, Drake, and Tata, for all intents and purposes, is either 1 or 1A in terms of coach of the year, in terms of what he's done this year. But you also have a couple of really awesome people in your front office. And Jalil and I are massive Chris Henderson fans. And I had a chance to follow David Beckham when he came into the league, and I hold him in high regard as a person on and off the field. What has that level of leadership been like from Hendo, who's one of the top dudes ever in our game for club and country? David Beckham's the icon. We can go on and on. But even beyond the field, you have a whole nother layer that's added to the culture in Inter Miami. What has that been like? And what do you see that you're learning from leadership at that level that you're going to apply for your career and everything else you're doing off the field?
Yeah, I think, having, well, one, like even just being able to meet David Beckham, let alone him being my boss, that was kind of, took me some time to get used to. And,
understatement, right?
Yeah, but like, when he shows up and watches our practice and says hello and, chats with you for a few minutes, it's just like, wow, like, this guy's done it all in his career. And, he takes the time to ask how you're doing, to ask how your family is. Goes to show just kind of what person they are, and we have a lot of those at our club, including Chris. He's someone who played on a national team, done a lot. He's fellow Pac-12, maybe, a Bruin, but fellow Pac-12.
Yeah, Bobo. Yeah.
At least he wears blue and gold. He wears the right color. He doesn't wear that Chapel Hill, Tar Heel blue, all watered down.
Wow. The college shade out here is crazy. The UCLA blue is the closest thing you can get to Carolina blue anyway. So watch out. We could compare national championships if y'all really want to go there. So don't start.
I don't know what's going on. This conversation.
Don't start. But Drake, please do continue about the leadership at Inter Miami, because y'all don't want to enter this college soccer argument. Trust me.
But yeah, no, it's just, again, it's, as like, sports is also a business, and, being able to, have conversations with some of the leaders in our club, in the front office, that, is super transparent. We'll chat with you if you have questions. I think that was super important too, in terms of navigating the professional environment. And so, again, I think everyone's a part of the process of how the team functions and operates from the top down. And so I think having guys like them on our team has been super influential to our success and kind of, how we've progressed over the years.
Drake, you talk about footy being a business, and I don't think there's any real way to truly understand that concept without playing. Once you play, and you playing professionally, it all changes. It ain't just, kicking around with your boys in the backyard or, them club tournaments that your parents be driving you to. Like, this is for real.
Yeah, or up at Golden Bear.
Yeah, ain't no orange slices about it. And for me, I just always kind of go back to what makes a player unique, what makes their personality strong enough to be able to do this at the highest level. And people that know you very well or don't really know you at all, the first thing that they're probably going to say about you is that, yeah, Drake is super mellow and he don't really put his emotions on his sleeve, though. When I be watching you play, you be getting hella mad when you get scored on. But what I love is when you be making them crazy slaves, your swag comes out. I remember in the Leagues Cup final, it's that Cali Sacramento swag. It comes out when y'all were playing in the Leagues Cup final, and you buried your penalty to basically ice the whole thing. It was a moment where the real Drake came out. Where does your swag come from? Because we all have a source of where our inner, like, y'all can't mess with me. Where does that come from for you?
Yeah, it's really a balance. I think all of us we've come so far. We've come so far to get where we are today. And in those moments, I'm like, man, like I did not work this hard. I did not make these sacrifices. I did not, do all these things to not be here right now doing the best that I can. And so certain things may trigger that, because again, yeah, I'm a pretty mellow guy, meditation, mindfulness, grounding, floating, like, I really value that side of life. But also, like, a pro has to have a switch, and being able to be in control of when to turn on, when to turn off is, I think, a huge weapon. And so I felt it's something I'm still, learning now is like, how do I gain more control over that switch? And like you said, in like the Leagues Cup final, there was a switch that turned on that it turned on from the moment I put my headphones on, leaving the hotel to go to the stadium, and turned off, at the end of the game once I made that save, and that's something that, kind of feels like a flow state at times, but also, like you said, there's like a kind of like a swag that can be expressed where, whether it's pounding your chest or you're talking to the fans or just how you walk or even just like a look on your face, these are elements to a performance that you can use to your advantage. It's, again, there's the mental game where, if your opponent sees like, damn, this guy's like, I don't want to go in the box. I don't want to.
Dre, you coming up high with that knee, huh? You coming up real high. You catching everyone. You hitting Kamal on the back of the head. You hitting everyone, like everyone catching a little something on the way up and through, right? Hey, that's just a part of it.
Yeah. So it's extremely important. And again, you have to experience these moments to even know that, like, you can reach these levels. You don't know until you know. Sometimes it takes time. It takes time to get there, to get into these games. Like you said, like, footy is a business, and there can be a cutthroat side to it that you have to be aware of and just ready for anything.
Jalil, as you know, I'm big on talented people do and Drake's also an author as well. Jake, tell us about the book real quick, how to come together and just put people on it, man. I think it's really cool that you can add not only awesome girl dad, but also author to an amazing growing list of things you can put on your LinkedIn.
And how do we get the book? Where do we get the book? How much you got to pay with it? Because people gonna want to know. Yeah.
Thank you. Becoming an author was, something that they didn't really know how to how to do. We kind of just, well, we as in me and DeAndre Yedlin, who's a co-author of the book and also my former teammate. Um, you know, all the away trips we would go on, we would talk on these flights, and we aligned on a lot of things, and one of those things was a mindfulness and how we be mindful. At the time, I think he had a 2-year-old and he had a newborn on the way. So he would talk about how being mindful as a parent would help him out. I wasn't a father yet, but I still was interested about how mindfulness can kind of enhance your lifestyle. It can kind of add to your life in a good way. And so we kind of came up with this idea just to create a mindfulness type book for children that intended for children. And as it developed, it almost turned into a mindfulness book for everybody. So it was formatted and illustrated for readers of all ages. And, it's book 1 of the Mindfulness Expedition series. And we essentially drew inspiration from both of our childhoods of how we, both of us spent a lot of time in nature and realized, man, this is like something that we share in common, but we also found that it helped us out a lot in our development is into who we are today. Being mindful of your surroundings, of your environment, even just spending time in nature for us gave us a lot of peace of mind, and was something as, young kids that I think we both really enjoyed. So all right, how can we kind of pair the two together and integrate it into this mindfulness book? And I came up with the idea to call the first book X Marks the Spot. And, we kind of named, or I guess created a character after ourselves. He's like a young Black character who, goes from one environment to the next and experiences change and goes through adversity and, uses what he learns in nature to also help him out in the city where he moves to. And without, giving out too many spoilers, it's a book that was crafted with a lot of intention in terms of how it reads, in terms of the messaging and the lessons. And, it's something that it just gets me excited. It's like another passion of mine, and be able to create something that we can share with the world and, hopefully help kids learn about mindfulness and share the story is something that pretty proud of. And, you can find it at themindfulnessexpedition.com. We kind of think life is a mindfulness expedition, being aware of yourself, being aware of your environment in this journey through life. You can learn a lot. And I think I feel like I was mindful as a kid, but also helping kids understand mindfulness from an early age, I think is super valuable. As you get older, there's so much going on, having kids, your career, taking 10, 15, 20 minutes out of your day just to go on a stroll, maybe go sit at a park bench, listen to the birds, kind of disconnect and reconnect with something greater than yourself could, I think, really help you out.
Incredible, a real Renaissance man, and empower the next generation one book at a time. X Marks the Spot. As Drake says, every day is an opportunity to get better, and we are better, Drake, for you joining us here on New Ground. Congratulations on everything, Jalil. As you know, nothing happens by accident, and all the success that Drake is enjoying is a real byproduct of who he is on and off the field. So, Drake, congratulations to you and Kai and your very tall already baby girl. That next generation, Jalil, between Earl Edwards and Ray Gaddis, they're coming. So I'm excited to see Drake's journey as a girl dad for all of us to enjoy. So, Drake, we appreciate you joining us, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you guys for having me. Really enjoyed this conversation. And yeah, all the best to everyone listening. And thank you guys again.